Okay, welcome to another edition of the Nourie's Niche, where we're learning some real simple, fun, and basic BMX flatland for riders of all ages, but maybe a younger rider that's just interested in getting into an independent sport, not so much of a team player that wants to do the soccer or the football league, but wants more of a individual sport that's challenging both on the mental and physical side. Or maybe it's the younger teenager that's just kind of wanting to do your own thing and intrigued by BMX flatland, but also can be somewhat intimidated by the level of riding that's out there. So giving you an opportunity to practice on some real basic fundamental tricks to a rider like myself, maybe middle age, that kind of lost touch of the fun times from when you were riding back in the day, and the daily responsibilities have taken over. So hopefully this could be an avenue to get back involved and start to learn some tricks that are relatively easy. Not a whole lot of time that you have to dedicate to them, but you do want to be persistent and consistent, because that pays off. But I figure some fundamentals is key, and then who knows where it will go from there, depending on your interest. If you want to start doing shows or competing, or if you're just going to go out and have fun and have riding as part of your exercise routine. So today's trick I'm going to do is hang five, and this is a really fun trick. Remember learning it and thought, yeah, this is just, there's a lot of potential. It leads into a lot of other tricks, but we're just going to do a real basic hang five. Maybe I'll do one little variation like a no footer or something. And this is one that takes some time to practice. Even if you're feeling pretty good on your endos, it's just this commitment to getting to the balance point and being able to roll. So it's much different than a stationary endo because you're rolling. And I don't want to be too discouraging, but I just want you to realize that it might take some time to really focus on getting into this balance point and hitting the balance point. And I have a couple ideas today to help with that process, so that you're not going over the bars all the time. I typically don't use the brake, but I have brakes, so sometimes I do tap the brake to get into it, but I would recommend learning not to, which would be great, so that it's all just the control of pushing right into it and finding that balance point and then just coasting. But I do use my brakes a lot, and I've kind of been known for people say, wow, he's using his brakes on a hang 10 or no footed hang 5. And that's so odd because most riders these days don't have brakes, and they would just coast it into that balance point. So anyhow, I'll do the trick 2 or 3 times, couple different directions so you can see some different angles, and then we'll break it down with different steps and see where we go from there. Okay, thanks. All right. So the first thing I would do is just practice leaning back and pushing right into it. Okay, so there I did tap my brake towards the end, but I'm just going to put my left foot on, lean back, and go right into it. Again, I use my brake. This time I'll try to do it where I do it in a bit of a circle, because that's kind of fun. You can reach a balance point and go carve it in a circle, so it's going to look like so, and then carve it around like that. Let's do one more so that I can really get a nice, good coasting one. No brakes. So just push right into it and just lock it in. Okay, so here's my thought. It's going to take quite a bit to get into that balance position. So I would find a curb. I have a nice little ledge right here, and practice getting into the trick without using your brake, so you get used to leaning your body forward and I'm scooping my left foot back and I'm pushing the bars down. So doing that over and over to where you really feel good and comfortable, and feel that balance point to where you can almost take your foot off and just bounce there for a second. So again, I got my foot on my left peg. It doesn't really matter, whatever you feel more comfortable, but I'm left foot on my front peg, scoop it, push down with the bars, and I am sitting down on the seat. So that's kind of the balance, and that's eventually what you would be able to do in order to do the no-footed hang 5 or hang 10, I think they also call it. So doing this over and over is a pretty good exercise because it's the same motion as you're rowing. You're going to be rowing and you're going to kind of sit up and scoop the bike, put your head over the front wheel quite a bit so your balance point's there, and you're going to scoop and press your bars down just like that. Then once you feel confident in that, try to like push off the curb a little bit. That was actually a little harder than I thought. I'm going to try that again. So I'm just going to come, I'm going to set up and scoop it like so. I'm going to just push off. It's a little hard because you don't have a whole lot of speed, but I think it will help with just getting that balance point so you can feel it. And again, it's that counterbalance that I talked about in other videos. So as the leg that's off, so my right leg is going to be counterbalancing. So if I'm going too low, I'm going to bring my foot forward. If I'm going too high, my foot goes back. I can't really demonstrate that very easily. Let's see. Like that or like that. I don't know how that looked, but just be aware of that your leg is kind of relaxed and dangling, but you're really using it to counterbalance. Then, I mean, obviously to ride out, it's pretty straightforward because you're just going to let it drop down. And how do I do it? I think I just go right to the pedal. Let me try another one. So, okay, so into the hang 5, roll. Yeah, I just drop down to the seat and the pedal. And that's pretty much it. Again, it's going to take some time. If you tap the brake to get into it, it's not a bad thing to do, but it'd be great to be able to just pop right into it without hitting the brake. And then try, like all these other tricks I was mentioning when you're doing a rolling trick, set yourself a line, okay? And I'm going to start there, and I'm going to roll past that line, and I'm going to go to this next line or some kind of marker, and then just challenge yourself to go further and further each time and really expand. Like I don't just go, okay, I'm going to do now just 2 feet, and then I'm going to do 4 feet. Go like 2 feet and then go 10 feet, because then you'll do 4 feet easily. Like thinking further ahead and challenging yourself a bit more, from my experience, has helped me to advance quicker, which is fun because then you feel good about it. At the end of the day, you're like, wow, I did the hang 5, and today I did it for 20 feet, which is great. And then once you feel comfortable in that balance, then you can start thinking about variations. I don't have a whole lot, but you know, again, the creative process can kick in. I'll do a no footer, but typically I use my brake. I know that's probably not the ideal, especially for today's day and age and what riders are doing now, but that's how I've always done it. So I'll just do a regular hang 5 into it, and then I'll do a no footer, and maybe I'll do another one facing the camera so you can see that angle. Okay, so same kind of setup. Just going to roll around. I'll come into the shot right where I'm in the hang 5. Boom. Take my feet off. Oop, squeaky brakes. Sorry about that. Oh, the brakes are squeaky. Okay, I'm going to try using less brakes, or maybe even no brakes. Oh, just a bit of brakes. One more time. No footed hang 5. I think some people call it a hang 10. Okay. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Oh, and that's another little cheater that I do to come out of it. Sometimes I'll just do a little squeaker, a little Switzerland squeaker there when I stop at an Indo. So use your imagination as you build your confidence in this trick to add some variations, one-handed, cross-handed, all kinds of different variations that can come out of this. But I think it's a fun trick. It will take a bit more time than some of the other tricks that I've done how-tos on, but it's worth it because it's definitely a trick that can help you with rolling in other positions on the bike. So that's it for today. I did want to mention I'm starting to run these new grips, which are really pretty cool. They're gym grips. They're made by Biz House. That's Sean White's. He's out of San Diego. Sean White's company. And I've seen them for years, but I actually never ran them until someone was telling me about them down in California. And it was really hot and my hands were super sweaty, and I don't always wear gloves, but my hands were slipping off my usual grips I was running. And I tried this guy's bike and I was like, wow, this guy Mario, he had these grips on and they weren't slippery at all. And the other thing is that they don't ever move. So they're just these little rings that you put on. There's just a series of rings that you put on, and they never slip, at least from my experience. I've been running them for a couple weeks now and they feel great. So just want to give a little shout out to Sean White and Biz House. If you are interested in these grips, they're like 12 bucks for $11.99. And I bought them off of BMX Museum. I know he sells them through there. So just want to give a little plug to him. And other than that, thanks again for watching. More to come. And I hope everyone's having fun with these. Thanks so much.